So how to snatch, the perfect technique, I would say. So yeah, I just finished a snatch session. I filmed a couple of my lifts, and then this was probably the better quality lift. The clip is 2 seconds long, but I'm pretty much just going to break down the lift, what I think athletes and clients should be looking like when it comes to the snatch. So as you can see here, the setup, obviously everyone's setup is going to be completely different depending on their limb lengths. So they can have long legs, long arms, completely different. It is whatever is basically comfortable for you in the setup and what works best for you. But obviously how I teach people is, as you can see here, the shoulders are in front of the bar, shins are kind of or almost vertical, and basically in this position here, my hamstrings, I can feel engaged, and they're switched on, pretty much good to go. So from here, I can basically explode up using the strongest muscles in the body, which is probably the hamstrings and the glutes. That's why we always smash a lot of hamstring and glute work. A lot of people struggle to switch their glutes on because a lot of people are quad dominant. So that's why we focus a lot on glute work in our accessory work and also in our warm-ups. So if you do follow my program, in my warm-ups, there's always some kind of glute activation work. So I always try and get banded marches in, and glute bridges, hip thrusts, banded good mornings, stuff like that. I try and incorporate into my warm-ups. Again, try and switch those glutes on, and I try and hammer that pretty much every day. And also, if you have a look at the accessory work that we do on the program, there's also some kind of glute or hamstring work in there. If it's like the GHD, hip extensions, could be some glute bridges, stuff like that. So yeah, that's why we try and use them in the warm-ups, just so it helps and it carries over to our Olympic lifts and other lifts and other aspects of training. And pretty much it also just balances out and reduces the risk of injury, especially in our lower back. So yeah, this is the setup that we start with or teach with. And obviously from here, as you basically pull, so let's start that first pull, you want to look at the hips and shoulders raising at the same time, those knees coming back, and that bar going in a straight line. So if we have a look here, as I start going up, nice and slow, hips and shoulders are pretty much raising the same time. Those knees are coming back out of the way. So we're pretty much coming up to that knee now. So from here, this is pretty much the most difficult part that people struggle with when it comes to lift, is from below the knee to above the knee. So this here I class as no man's land. Nobody knows exactly what to do here. But pretty much from this position here, you're going to bring the knees above, bring the bar above the knees, and then pretty much those knees should sweep back under the bar as those knees, as our hip extends. So when you talk about the triple extension, people always think it's the hip that's last, but it's the knees pretty much. So the knees are kind of the last thing that locks out. because that's where that jump comes from. So it's not knees lock out and then it's all hips, because obviously if that happens, you lock your knees and your hips go forward, guess what's going to happen to that bar? It's then just going to come forward away from the body, and you're probably going to lose it out in front. So yeah, that's the last thing you want to do, is those knees to shoot back, and then basically your hips come forward and smash into that bar. You want to be scooping under that bar. So you'll see what I mean now, or in a bit from here. But yeah, pretty much this is no man's land we're in pretty much at the moment. So from here, again, nice and slow, we're above that bar. Again, that bar's still nice and close to the legs, pretty much brushing against the legs. My shoulders are still over that bar. So from this position, it's still all hamstrings. I'm pretty much using all hamstrings and glutes right now to keep hold of that bar. And as I keep coming forward, you'll slowly see my knees come forward. So you can see my knees are slowly coming forward as I come into the hips. So from here, you can see those hips are starting to come forward to meet that bar, and also the knees are forward. And again, my shoulders are still over that bar. So from here, as you can see, my knees are forward. I'm pretty much in that high hang position now. So from here, you can see that high hang position. And then pretty much from this position, all I got to do now is jump. There's only one way I can go here, and that's straight up. So from this position then, I'm basically just going to go up in a straight line. As you can see, my knees are now locking out. I'm jumping up. That bar's traveling in a lovely straight line right here. My feet are barely off the floor. So if you have a look here, you can probably get a piece of paper under my feet. They're not coming far off the floor. They're literally just enough to slide out. So I'm coming off the floor a couple of centimeters, and then just moving my feet out just a couple of inches into that squat stance and land here. So you can see that bar is probably nipple height right now. It's probably not going to go much higher from there. It's just going to go, I'm just going to go under it now. So you can see that bar pretty much haven't traveled that much. My feet are now secure on that floor. I'm coming under that bar to meet it. And then pretty much it's just lock the elbows out now. And there is the snatch. So quick time from here. Hips and shoulders come up at the same time. Knees come forward in front of that bar. Hit that high hang position. You're then going to jump in a straight line, so nice and vertical, keeping that bar nice and close. So you see here, I'm literally on the balls of my feet here. I'm not going too far up, like onto my toes. Literally onto the ball of my feet. And then toes slide out, and then push into that snatch. So that is the snatch. So bam, quick time. Push. Well guys, thanks for watching this video. If you did like it, please hit that like button, and also subscribe.